The college basketball experience preview and pick show for Tuesday, November 22nd on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET is what you need to win. Sign up today. Bet $100. Get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/wynnbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the SGPN Thanksgiving Free Roll. Everyone who hits a football bingo in our contest will win $100 cash and a $100 gift card to the SGPN store exclusively on the SGPN app, which is free to download in the App Store or Google Play Store. So grab that thing today and let it ride.
Hey, this is John Sally, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo-wee. Welcome to the college basketball experience preview and pick show for Tuesday, November 22nd. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see, but I'm kicking ass right now. Kicking ass again. I am joined by my co-host, former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin, host of the NFL Gambling Podcast, host of the Ryan and Rush Show. Give it up for my guy, Ryan McIntyre. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Colby. Feast week is underway. We got Arizona, Cincinnati going on in the finale of the Maui, so we're coming to you live from the Maui right now.
Yeah, we have games going live. I currently am 7-3 on my locks, and I got Texas State with 2.5 points. They're up 6 with 3 minutes left. I do have Cal Baptist. They are down 10 as the second half just got underway. And then I also have Arizona and Southern Illinois pending. So I still could have it still could even out, but I think I'll be looking at being 8-3 in about 2 or 3 minutes here with a couple remaining games. I mean, I've had a very good day. How about you?
I'm on the winning side. I'm trying to sweat out this Cal Baptist with you as well. That Temple sweat was real at the end there. Had to have a missed free throw there. We got a nice bounce on San Fran to start the day, so I knew it was going to be a decent day when they came back. I know you were on the football show during that, so
yes.
Quite the comeback for the Dons.
I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I did keep up with the score on my computer, so I was keeping up. But I mean, I'll start the day by I had Illinois State plus 16. I didn't bet this, but I wake up. You know, I see the game's about to start. I throw it on. I'm like 5 minutes into the game, and I check my my messages essentially through Discord and Slack, and I have a message from one of our graphics guys that apparently is friends with the sports information director at Illinois State, and he tells me, "Hey, just want to let you know, Illinois State leading scorer is out with food poisoning." No, and I don't think anyone else knows it. And I was like, oh, man, but the game had already tipped. I was going to lock up LSU had I known that information. But that was the start today. I still pushed on that, but luckily I got that number when it was early. But how about the Kangaroos, buddy?
Outright.
Dude, outright just beat them down by 12, by double digits. Toledo Rocket.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah. I took the Kangaroos in the points, but I would be lying to you if I said, they're going to win on the money line. I didn't think the money line.
No.
We lost on so looking at my locks here, we lost on no, I actually opened up the day pretty damn decently. I hit on San Fran minus 3.5. I mean, that one you could argue that was very fortunate of me to hit on that. I didn't bet George Mason, but they were incredibly disappointing yet again.
No doubt.
How about those Zips on the money line, man? I told you, you know what, Stansbury,
Man,
look,
yeah.
It's tough to talk shit about Stansbury because he is a winning coach, right? Historically. However, he reminds me of Rick Barnes in many ways because I always think he gets the least out of his teams as far as talent. They're always talented teams, but I never think they overachieve. To me, like, they actually do worse than what I see on paper, traditionally.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's got a 7'5" center and Sharp, and I mean, he had like 3 points and 2 rebounds today. How does that even happen? And then the transfer from Boise, he didn't do anything either. So, yeah, no, I'm with you. Stansbury gets less out of more than any coach in the country, in my opinion.
Well, and Western Kentucky's got a great fan base. They even, I think, have an NIL collective going. In my opinion, they're in a tough spot because the guy does win. So it's like, do you fire a winning coach? I personally think if you want your program, when you see mid-majors that have made the jump, to me, or maybe not even making the jump, but like have this pedigree about them, whether it's the San Francisco Dons, whether it's the VCU Rams, whether it's this Loyola Chicago, I think has played their way into this field. Wichita State for a long time, I think, has earned a respectable name in college basketball. I don't have Western Kentucky on that tier. And to me, the only thing lacking from that tier is it's not talent. It's coaching. And I wonder if they get tired of that and want to, perhaps move the program in a different direction. I still think they're going to have a winning year and they'll contend for a CUSA championship. I just think they don't get the most out of their talent. They've had some really talented teams with the Hilltoppers, and I don't know, man. But shout out to Bryant. I know Doug Egert went off today for Bryant as they won by 10 against Detroit and Mercy. Austin P, baby.
The governors.
Austin P got it done. Trying to think. My Pirates, though, came through for me. Look, we were down double digits. And once again, we came back to make it a game. Lost our first game of the season, but doesn't matter. We got the cover. All right. Got the cover. I locked that thing up. So I was off to a nice start by taking San Francisco, East Carolina. And then we were both on Creighton minus the points against Texas Tech as they, through the first half, Texas Tech kept up with them fairly well, I thought. But Creighton, I did get eyes on this game. They got to really separate themselves from the Red Raiders in the second half. And we cashed that thing in at minus 2.5 as they won by 11. Any takeaways from that game? Were you more impressed with Creighton than you thought you would be, or more impressed with Texas Tech minus Fardaz than you thought you would be? Anything?
Yeah, no, I'm really impressed with Creighton. They're a really, really good offensive team. I know Fardaz isn't there, but when you can almost score 80 points against Texas Tech and have all 5 of your starters in double figures, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that game tomorrow.
Shout out to Ryan in the chat who was like, I gotta watch a movie with my wife. I'll watch the show later. But then 5 minutes later, he's like, wife, let me watch the Arizona game. Let's fucking go. She is the best. There you go, man. You can always watch the movie. I don't know, say April, late April, mid-April.
We sleep in May.
Yeah, exactly. And he said, I bet ECU just to hear that song. There we go, brother. Yeah, Noah's saying, dude, UMKC lost to a D2 school first game of the season. Yeah, it's crazy turnaround there. But they look decent against LSU. I didn't catch their opening day game. Obviously, I saw the score. But against LSU, I watched some of that game, and I said, you know what, this team's not bad. That's why I took them in the points. Now, I didn't think they would win the way that they won. I didn't think they would win the game. I just thought they would cover. Shout out to them. I also want to reevaluate Wichita State. Wichita State held Grand Canyon, who's a respectable school, that a team that still could be in March that we see, even though I'm having my doubts with the way Sam Houston State and some of these other schools in the WAC are playing. Wichita held them to 43 points, though. And we got to start talking about Wichita State's defense. I mean, first off, the win against Richmond, I thought was impressive by Wichita.
Yeah.
They have held. So this is their defensive performances. Central Arkansas, they held them to 55 in game 1. Alcorn State, anomaly there. They lose to Akron State. Akron State scores 66 points. But then after that, they hold Richmond to 53 and Grand Canyon to 43. Some great defense being played by the Shockers. I think they might be more of a player in the AAC than I thought preseason. How about you?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, defensively, when you think of Wichita State in their glory days, it was their pedigree on the defensive end with Greg Marshall. So getting back to that, and now we're finally getting into the part of the season where at least we have a little bit of a sample size too, 5-6 games, even when we get to 10 games, where we can say this team is good defensively, not just based off of 1 or 2 games or preseason expectations. So yeah, Wichita State is very good defensively.
Yeah. So I did lose on that game. Didn't lock it by any means. I should have locked Belmont -7.5 because I felt good about that as they won by 23. Should have locked that one. I did not. I know Patty.
They just burned us too many times.
But they just keep a good program, man. I feel like
they do.
These really, smaller schools, I feel like they can put it on them. UIC handled business against Stonehill, baby. Let's go. Luckily, we didn't bet Louisville. I know we were trying to talk ourselves into it last night. We didn't.
I Benedict that one. I went to Arkansas when I heard everybody. When I listened to the main show and I saw everybody on Louisville, I said, "Oh no, this is a trap."
Yeah.
I
didn't bet this game, so I don't hate it. But I'm saying Louisville. Louisville does not cover they get their ass whooped by 26 to Eric Musselman.
They're awful.
Yeah. Drexel gets it done. I was on the right side of the Dragons. Once again, it wasn't a lock, but they held UT Arlington to just 38 points. Woo! That defense.
Zach Spiker.
Yes, doing a great job there. And then High Point beat Central Michigan, but only by a point. I believe I was on the wrong side of that one. I was. Once again, not a lock, but I did lock up this one and lose money. So yeah, like I said, I started out 3-0, and then Tulane -2.5. Nevada's better. I mean, I fade Steve Alford. I don't regret it because I would fade him again if this game happened in a couple days. I probably would. However, they put it on. Tulane did not play as good as I thought they would. I know Tulane had some injuries, but still, shout out to the Wolfpack and Steve Alford and Jared Lucas and all those guys.
They got some talent there in Reno.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They've always had talent. Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
Steve Alford, that's what it is.
you guys might not have had this one we didn't have it on the show last night, but this morning when I saw Wyoming was at -2.5, I locked up Wyoming to beat Boston College.
I joined you.
They actually got beat down the whole game. They were down by 5 at halftime, and BC, they're weird, man. I mean, Wyoming's worse than I thought they would be. I think, actually, if I had to assess the Mountain West right now, I know last year was Colorado State and Wyoming's party. San Diego State as well. But, I mean, I don't know about Colorado State. I still think is decent. But I think, obviously San Diego State's clear-cut the best. But after that, I think it's more so a story of New Mexico, UNLV, Utah State. Maybe even you throw in Nevada now. I don't know. I have my doubts still a little bit. And maybe even San Jose State. It's going to be a fun conference to watch down the stretch here.
And Maldonado for Wyoming got injured too. Oh, I just saw Noah put that in the chat as well. Yeah, no, he left with 4 staples in his head.
I've had staples in my head. Not a fun experience.
No, not a fun experience. They got to get him back.
Not a fun experience. And then we had a lock. I had a lock of Utah -4.5. Now, NC Nick had it at -4. He pushed. But Utah beats Georgia Tech by 4. Brutal half-point loss there for myself, and I believe you as well.
Yeah, I had 4.5 as well.
But
missed the front end of the 1-1.
Yeah, but at least the Pac-12 got that win. If you're a Pac-12 guy out there, hey, you got to win against the ACC.
Yeah.
You need every win you can get fucking right now. Shit.
Especially with Cal.
Yeah. Dude, I thought about locking up South Florida. Remember last night I thought about it. They would have covered. They would have hit. They only lost by 15 to UAB. They would have covered. And then how about the Florida State Seminoles? I know you'll see this score and say, hey, Florida State won by 9. This was a close game. This was like
yes. No, I locked up Mercer.
Left. Yeah. I mean, I didn't lock it up, but I took Mercer plus a 7.5, and I thought this was a tie game with like 2.5 minutes left. I thought this thing was gonna hit, at least for the bet, not on the money line, but the bet. Not the case. And then, hey, where's that asshole who talked a bunch of trash to us about us taking Chicago State?
I was thinking the same thing when I saw the score tonight. I go, yeah, how you like them Chicago State guys now?
Yeah.
They were right there the whole game.
Yeah, they only lose by 12 when they were 21-point dogs or something. I don't even know. 19-point dogs, 20-point dogs, something like that. Shout out to Chicago State. Oh, man, and I can't believe I changed my pick on that. I was on Chicago State. Louisiana Tech, we should have locked up that. I felt good about that one too, man. I had a lot that I liked that hit that I didn't bet. Louisiana Tech was one of them. We also, one of the final things we did on last night's show was we took Colgate minus 17. That hit as Monmouth's bad. Monmouth might be.
We should have locked that.
You know what else I should have locked? I should have locked up the Ospreys of North Florida. I thought that line was off, man. I thought that line was off. They almost won outright. Duquesne wins by 1. Shout out to the Dukes for getting it done. We were on the wrong side of Lehigh St. Francis, I believe. Fordham, cash for me. Told you, Holy Cross is an auto fade. They almost came back, though. This was like a 35-point game at one point. We got the cover with Fordham as I moved to 4-3 then. And then I got hot, man. I want to touch base on some of these other games. I mean, obviously we were wrong on the Clemson game, but we didn't bet that. We were all over Kansas State minus the points with Jerome Tang, and I thank you on that because I was originally thinking Rhode Island, and I Benedict that one and went with K-State.
I think K-State's pretty damn good.
They could be a team to really watch out for and undervalued in Las Vegas.
No doubt.
Florida Gulf Coast. How about them? How about Florida Gulf Coast? I was on the right side of that. They beat Northern Kentucky by 21. 21. Nice win there. And then Wright State by 16 against Abilene Christian. And then
that's a really good win for Wright State.
They're good, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in March.
No
doubt. Rice let us down again. I mean, we didn't bet it, but I'm saying in general, picking every game. Rice only won by 9. I can't get a feel for that fucking team. Drake wins by 7 against Tarleton. We had 7, so that was a push.
Mm-hmm.
Bellarmine covered for us. We were on that.
We should have locked that one too. But we both were just like the athleticism and talent of Duke. Could they just wear them down? Kind of like Carolina did with JMU the previous day.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bellarmine was right there the whole game. They never went down more than 15 points. That is a really good team in the Atlantic Sun going forward.
Yeah, for sure. Georgia showed up. So either St. Joe's is really bad or Georgia's better than what we think. I think St. Joe's might be really bad. Georgia wins by 13 against St. Joe's. And then Mississippi State. Now, this is what's interesting is I hit on this because I got minus 2.5. You hit on this because you got 3.5.
Sharps.
Yeah, as Mississippi State wins by 3. And then the Texas Longhorns come through for us. Yes, with a 25-point win. We were laying 24.5. Getting it done. Also, San Diego State. I know if you listen to the SGP show, that was one of my favorite plays of the day. I didn't actually bet it, but I should have. I should have bet that one. Did you bet that one?
Which one was that?
Ohio State, San Diego State.
No, I liked San Diego State, and I saw that bump up to 4.5 right before tip. So San Diego State, I mean, they finally scored the ball tonight, 88 points. Usually they're in the 50s and 60s in a grinded out type game, but the Aztecs are good.
Yeah, Air Force rolled South Carolina upstate. Washington State got revenge on Eastern Washington. Once again, Pac-12, a nice win there as you blew out Eastern Washington on the road. Hampton plus the points. Easy money, man. Easy fucking money. I locked that one up. Locked it up. Temple plus the points. These are real bets that I'm telling you, we kicked ass, man. We kicked ass tonight. Riverside hit for me against Weber State. I believe he rode Riverside as well. And then we are sweating out some of these others, but let me get an update on these scores. Texas State is up 3 with 17 seconds left. I'm getting 2.5 points. So as long as this doesn't go into overtime, I should be cashing that one as well. Cal Baptist is still down 10, and we have a couple games that are so early that it's not even worth mentioning. But it is a winning night here, as long as, to me, like, if Texas State wins this, then I'll be 8-4 with 3 games remaining. So even if I lose those 3, it is still a winning night for your boy Pick Dundee. Let's talk about tomorrow's action, man. Let's hop in there. I know you're still sweating out games too. How many locks do you have left? 2?
I have the same ones you got. Texas State, Cal Baptist. Did you lock Arizona?
I did.
Yeah, so we have the same one. So Texas State pretty much clinches winning night for me as well. Because after that, all I have is Cal Baptist and Arizona. Arizona is currently up 5 midway through the first half.
Yeah, I still think they could pull away.
Yeah.
All right. So let's hop into. That's just random music that I play. I didn't plan this out, but it's our transition music into picking games on Tuesday, November 22nd, and we open up with Illinois State against Western Kentucky, which I do not have a line for, people. So if you do find a line, let us know. But obviously monitor the food poisoning situation, and we don't have a line. We don't have a line, so let me just jump out the gate here. This is why you get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. We don't have a line on a lot of these games that have happened today where the loser plays and the winner play tomorrow as these tournaments advance. Illinois State, Western Kentucky, Toledo, East Carolina, Northern Iowa, Grand Canyon. And I believe it's going to be like LSU Akron, I think, will be one. I mean, there's going to be a slew that we just don't have right now. So I hate to disappoint you, but what can I do? Maybe by the end of this episode, the lines will be up. But
check the picks page.
Yeah, check the picks page. Northern Illinois is taking on Sam Houston State. I will lock this one from the start. What am I missing here?
I'm with you here. I know where you're going.
I don't understand the line, to tell you the truth, man. Like, who's setting this line?
Maybe they were really convinced by Northern Illinois' win over Purdue Northwest. So shout out to Purdue Northwest.
I mean, Sam Houston's like legit, man. I don't understand.
Yeah. They got 2 Power 5 wins already.
Dude, I see a 10.5 out there too. Like, what am I missing? Is this does smell a little bit, man.
And, I'm going to make the prediction right now that this thing goes up to around 13 or 14. And this happened multiple times today. For example, Temple, we sweated that one out, 6.5. That thing was down to 4 by tip-off, or San Fran to start today. So it's imperative that you listen to the show live so that you can get the better of the number.
Yeah, I mean, I was just pretty sure. I would have set this at like 18. Am I crazy? I would have set this at 18.
I'm locking up Sam Houston State to start off the day right.
Yeah, let's fucking go, all right? Bobcats. They're Bearcats.
Bearcats.
Yeah, jeez. Doing too much content over here. Yeah, let's lay that. That's kind of a no-brainer to me to start the day out right tomorrow. And then we jump into IPFW. This is a good game. IPFW is taking on Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan's 1-3, so they better get their shit together. And I think it might happen tomorrow. plus 190 on the money line, but IPFW is a 5.5 point favorite. And to be honest, I actually think they should be a 5.5 point favorite just based on the season. If you're setting these, they're a good team. They're underrated, I think. But I'm taking Eastern Michigan's got to wake up one of these days. I'm taking the 5.5. I'm playing a little bit on that 190 money line. What are you doing?
I'm gonna take Eastern Michigan as well. I think this is a good game, though. I was impressed with Fort Wayne the other night at Northwestern. They were right there to win the game, but I'll take the talent of Eastern Michigan.
Should we lock this?
Maybe this might be a picks page last second lock, just because Eastern Michigan is so up and down. I mean, they go to I mean, I don't blame you.
I'm locking it. Let's go. At some point, the talent's got to start shelling out. You know what I mean? Even if they lose, I'm thinking they'll lose by 2, 3, 4, even 5, and you still cash. Let's go. Let's go. The Highlanders. Shout out to Christopher Lambert. Has any of you seen the movie fucking Highlander, or is that just have you ever seen the movie Highlander?
I have not.
Okay. Well, you probably done yourself a favor because it's incredibly dated. It's like when you watch the original Tron, you're like, huh? But it was a cool ass movie back in the day. They made like 10 of them, I feel like. But the Highlanders are taking on Sacred Heart. Highlanders are getting 8 points. What am I missing here? Am I crazy here?
This is our team, Sacred Heart. We love them.
I mean, but Highlanders are not as bad as you think. They lost at St. Peter's. They lost to Cal Baptist. They lost to Steve Lavin at San Diego. I'll take the points. I'm not going to lock this, but I'll take the points. Sprinkle some on the money line. Plus 290.
No. This one puzzled me as well.
Wait, I should fucking lock this, I think, right?
Yeah, let's lock this.
Yeah, they only beat Hartford by 7. They only beat Columbia by 3. Let's fucking bet this, dude.
I'm betting, baby.
Dude, I'm betting this, and I'm betting the money line.
Yes, sprinkle some on that money line.
What am I missing here?
I don't know. I mean, the game's in Fairfield, but we know they're not going to get a crowd there at Sacred Heart.
I mean, I see 8.5 out there. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Lock it up. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, we're doing that.
Yeah.
Let's go Highlanders. Let's get it done. So I open up the first 3 games with locks, but I will back away right now. But Long Island, the Shocks taking on South Dakota. Is this actually in South Dakota or is this in some fucking tournament?
This is in Florida. It's in Fort Myers.
Okay, give me the 14.5 then. I think South Dakota's going to win the game, but I'll take the 14.5. What are you doing? See,
I struggle with this one because I'm locking up South Dakota. I think LIU is awful. Rod Strickland.
They are.
Yeah, and South Dakota. I'm going to lock up the Coyotes. I think they're not that. Yeah, let's go.
I like it. I like what he's thinking here. Getting down on some locks. Moneyline Max says, give me the Coyotes minus 14.5. Shop to you, drop. All right. Well, look, I'll match you with the lock because I think you're going to want to lock up this one too. I think you probably already are locking this one up. Southern Miss is catching 1.5 at Winthrop. I think the wrong team's favored here. Give me Southern Miss, and I will lock it up. Are you coming aboard this one? I figured you were.
Yes, they were good to me at Liberty the other night. I have a lock-up Southern Miss as well. They already beat Vanderbilt as well. So.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Wrong team favored.
Yeah, wrong team favored, man. And man, I'm locking up a lot to start this. I'm thinking about locking up this right here. Hampton minus 1.5 against North Alabama.
So the only hesitation is Hampton is playing a back-to-back. In
Northern Alabama is 3-1, but against who? Yeah. Alabama A&M. They lost to Mississippi Valley State by 8, man.
I know.
They beat Blue Mountain State College, aka
shout out to the Rockies.
Yeah. Then the shout out to the cold activated can. They beat so 2 of their 3 wins are to D2 schools. And then Alabama A&M, who should be a D2 school when it comes to basketball. I'm sorry. Guys, the locks are flowing. I'm fucking locking it. They're not losing this game. They have too much talent. They're better than them. What are you doing here?
I'm joining you on the lock. You know why? Because they've already played in the arena tonight, and they didn't play bad tonight. So I think they get it done tomorrow. They'll win outright.
Let's fucking go, man. The Pirates, baby. Pirates never treat us wrong. Let's go. Cal State Bakersfield, the Roadrunners, taking on Texas A&M Corpus Christi, the Islanders. Corpus Christi's laying 6.5. Kind of struggle with this one, but I'm going to lay the 6.5 with Corpus Christi. What are you doing here?
I'm gonna lean to lay in the 6.5 as well. Corpus Christi was impressive the other night against Rio Grande, so I'll lean to the -6.5.
Yeah. Then we get Canisius, the Golden Griffins. They're getting 7.5 against Cornell. I'll take the 7.5. Lock it up. Canisius, I've been impressed with them this year. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm joining you. I'm looking at Cornell, why they would be favored by that many. I mean, they beat St. Francis, PA by 3, and they beat the Deli Shop and Ithaca. I mean, they haven't beaten anybody, and Canisius hasn't been bad.
Dude, that Youngstown game, that score is deceiving.
Yes.
That score is deceiving. That was a closer game, I think, than people realize. They got that thing within like 5 or 6. I know they were getting their ass whooped early on, but and then Cleveland.
And they beat the Bonnies.
Yeah. Give me what?
Yeah.
Why is this line? This line's off. Give me the points all day here. Let's go. So, folks, when you wake up tomorrow morning, just because I want people to know, at least if you're on the West Coast, for me, I get Toledo, East Carolina at 8 a.m. out here, right?
Yep.
There's so many games we're not talking about right now, and I'm sorry, we just don't have lines on it. But to give you an idea, at 8 a.m. we have, or 11 a.m. on the East, Illinois State, Western Kentucky, Toledo, East Carolina, and Northern Iowa and Grand Canyon. We have great basketball games on all day tomorrow. The next slate, well, at 9 for me out here on the West, Northern Illinois, Sam Houston State, Austin P. Bucknell, IPFW, Eastern Michigan. And then you get LSU Akron. All these games, San Francisco, Wichita State, which I don't have lines on yet. Texas Tech, Louisville. I don't have lines on these games yet. So get the app, but we have a great basketball day. So I wanted to highlight that because if we're just going through the games we picked, there's not a lot of marquee matchups. The marquee matchups are there. The lines just come out late because of these tournaments.
Correct.
Next up, Bradley is taking on Auburn. Is this one? I think it's in Mexico, if memory serves me correct. Auburn is laying 11.5. I thought about locking this. I still might get the app. I'm going to lay the points with Auburn, but Bradley's decent. So what are you doing here?
I'm gonna lean Bradley, but like you said, this isn't a lock-worthy game. And yes, this game is in Mexico at the Hard Rock Hotel.
There we go. Shit, yeah. I think I've been to that. By the way, Texas State wins by 4.
Let's go.
Boom. Cal still winless.
And Cal Baptist has cut this thing to 2 at the under 4 timeout.
There we go, baby. There we go.
So we got a barn burner.
There we go. Next up, UT Martin is taking on Arkansas State. Man. I'm not taking UT Martin. You're not sprinkling fairy dust on me here. I am taking
Skyhawks.
I'm taking the Red Wolves, even though I don't know how good they are either. It's kind of a tough game to cap. It's in Jonesboro, Arkansas. It's enough for me. I will lay the points despite UT Martin beating them by 14 a season ago. What are you doing here?
I'm taking the Skyhawks. No lock, though. I'm tired of getting burned by the Skyhawks.
Yeah. Bowling Green is at Notre Dame. Bowling Green's burned us a couple times this year. They're getting 15. I'll take Bowling Green, but I am certainly not betting it. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Bowling Green because I've touched on it with Notre Dame. They can't cover anything right now. I mean, they haven't covered against Radford, Youngstown, Southern Indiana, and Lipscomb. I mean, they could easily be 2-2 overall.
Yeah, yeah. Elon, the Phoenix, is taking on Jacksonville State. Both these teams only have one win. This is at Pete Matthews Coliseum there in Jacksonville, Alabama. Jacksonville
It's lit
State,
there.
it's laying 7.5. I'll lay the points with Jacksonville State. What are you doing?
You're going to call me crazy. I am locking up the Gamecocks. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Ray Harper, baby.
Gamecocks -7.5. Elon sucks, so I understand the logic.
Yeah.
I understand the logic. I'm just not joining you.
Ray Harper's a good coach, too, and they just got drilled by Alabama by 40, so he'll have those guys ready to go.
Bounce back game.
Yep.
The Tritons of UC San Diego are in Washington, D.C., taking on the Colonials of George Washington. The Tritons are getting 8.5 points. It's enough for me. I'll take the 8.5. I'm not locking it, but I'll take the 8.5. What are you doing here?
Same. We have a thing on this show. We don't take George Washington.
Yeah, fuck them. All right.
Exactly.
Finally, we get to our spot. This feels like home. Southern Indiana. It's going up to St. Bonaventure. St. Bonaventure's got a really young team, and I do think Mark Schmidt's a great coach. I think he'll get the maximum out of his team. But you better believe the Screaming Eagles are going to cover the 7.5. Sprinkle some on the money line at +275. Lock it up, baby. What are you doing here?
I'm locking it too. I feel like Southern Indiana hasn't played in a while since Notre Dame. Oh, wait, no, they played Loras the other day. So shout out to Loras.
Juarez, like by El Paso, where like fucking there's like dead bodies every fucking 3 minutes.
No, Loras says Loras.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would have been cooler if they played Juarez. They're like, hey, you know what? Wouldn't it be great if Juarez used some of that drug money and just got an awesome team through NIL?
Yeah.
Be fucking fantastic for the sport. Next up, Vermont is taking on Yale. Oh man. Wait, is this game? This is at Yale, or is this a neutral site?
Yeah, this game's in New Haven, Connecticut.
I think this is when Vermont gets their first win in a while. The Vermont's a dog, a 2.5-point dog.
Yeah,
I'm gonna lock up the Catamounts. This is where they find their groove. I know Yale's decent, but I think they're gonna find their groove now. That trip to California, fuck with them, and they come back and play Rick Pitino. That's not smart scheduling. I think now they wake up, they start to turn into the team that we all know Vermont to be over the past 15, 20 years. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna lean Vermont, but I'm not gonna lock this one. I like Yale's program too.
No, they're good too.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking forward to watching this game.
I do think wrong team favored though. I would set that line the other way around. It'd be like Vermont laying 2.5 or 3 if it was up to me.
Yeah.
Coppin State's catching 14.5 at Towson. This is a little backyard battle there. Towson's in Maryland. Coppin State's in Maryland. I'm going to take the 14 in Coppin State. I think Towson's going to get the win. What are you doing? 14.5, by the way.
I am locking up Coppin State. They've been really good to me, and they're feisty under Juan Dixon. They compete.
I'm not locking it up because of the Marshall game, but Moneyline Max says there's money to be made here. Take the Eagles plus 14.5 against the Tigers of Towson.
Big brother, little brother game.
I understand the logic there, and maybe you could talk me into. Maybe check the picks page. Maybe I would go there. The moving company is back from Ireland. They're getting 16.5 in Piscataway. I'll take the points. I think Rutgers wins by 10, something like that. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'll take the points as well.
Northern Arizona is taking on UT Rio Grande. I think Northern Arizona is better than they were last year. I'm going to lay the 4.5 with the Lumberjacks. Don't like it. I would not bet this, but give me the Lumberjacks minus the points. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'll take the Lumberjacks as well, especially because Rio Grande is coming off a win, and the Lumberjacks just got drilled by Texas, so a little bounce back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marist, the Red Foxes, taking on Maryland Eastern Shore. Marist is getting 1.5. Wrong team favorite. I'll take Marist, but I'm not going to bet that one. But give me the Red Foxes to win that one. What are you doing there?
Yeah, no, I'll take Marist with you, but no lock here.
Yeah. Prairie View, the Panthers, taking on UTSA. UTSA is laying 1.5. Prairie View's been all right. I mean, they've had their moments.
They're feisty.
I'm going to lay the 1.5 with UTSA, but I don't feel good about it. What are you doing?
Same, no lock though.
Yeah. Liberty, the Flames are having I think this is actually a real road game. I'm trying to pull that up right now.
No, it's Mexico.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I like it even better then. Give me Liberty plus 4.5. Ride that plus 65 on the money line. I think this is a game then. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'll ride Liberty as well. I'm not going to lock this. I think this game comes right down the wire.
Yeah, I agree. Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns are catching 3.5 in Dallas against SMU, or is this one in a neutral site too? Jeez.
This is at the Moody Coliseum.
So this is in Dallas. I'll take the Raging Cajuns. Actually, SMU's got to prove it to me under Lanier as the first-year head coach there. What are you doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna take the Raging Cajuns. No lock though.
Yeah. Fairleigh Dickinson's getting 14.5 at Pitt. I'll let you say it.
Eat shit, Pitt. Let's go. Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah, I'm taking the 14.5. Let's go. I'm not locking it, but I'm taking Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah. I thought about locking it. Check the picks page. I may lock up Fairleigh Dickinson just out of spite. Eat shit, Pitt.
Oral Roberts is catching 9. Is this one in Logan? I think this is actually in Logan.
Yes, Logan, Utah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. They're catching 9 at D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. Utah State's good, man. This place gets lit. Give me Oral Roberts plus the 9. I'm not locking this. They could lose by 20 at the same time. I'm just hoping it's going to be somewhere between 7, 8, 9. I don't think Oral Roberts can win this game. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I love Max, the guard there. But
Max Eastman,
yeah. But I'll take the points, but I could see them getting drilled as well.
Yeah. Grambling is in Tempe, taking on Arizona State. Man, should we bet this? Grambling's 2-1, right? They beat Colorado by 9. They did get worked by Grand Canyon though.
And the SWAC does own the Pac-12.
20.5 points, man.
Yeah.
I'm taking the points. This is maybe I might lock this. At some point. So get that app. Check that. What are you doing?
I'll lock it. I love fading the Pac-12, especially with big numbers.
I mean, we should lock it, right?
Yeah, I'm taking Grambling plus 20.5. I like it.
Let's do it. Let's go. Alcorn State's getting 8.5 in El Paso. I'm assuming this is actually in El Paso.
Yes.
8.5. Alcorn State won at Wichita and won at Stephen F. Austin. We have to take Alcorn State plus 8.5. Sprinkle some on the money line. I'm taking them. What are you doing here?
Yeah, and their only loss is at Ole Miss. I'm going to definitely take Alcorn State. Don't want to lock this. I may lock this on the picks page, but yeah, sprinkle some on the money line.
Yeah. Pacific is hosting Mount St. Mary's. Pacific, is this in a tournament? I can't. Do you see this game?
It's in Stockton, California.
That's where that's the home of Pacific.
Yeah, so it's a home game.
They're laying 4.5 against Mount St. Mary's. I'll lock it up. Give me Pacific minus 4.5. Let's go. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'll join you here because Mount St. Mary's got the big win over Cal Poly the other night. So second game of the road trip. I'll lock up the ticket.
Let's go. Final game on the slate for me. I know there's a lot of other stuff out there. Sacramento State is catching 5.5 at UC Davis. It's an interesting game. I'm going to lay the 5.5 with UC Davis, but I don't feel confident about this. But, Sacramento State's not awful. I'll lay the 5.5, though, with Jim Less's squad. What are you doing here?
I'm going to take the points, but don't love it.
Yeah.
We have overtime between Cal Baptist and Minnesota, by the way.
Oh, man, the sweat is real.
Here we go.
Sweat is real. So there's a lot of games we didn't touch, folks.
Correct.
I'm sorry, but, yeah, you just got to get the app on this because I don't have lines. I don't have lines on these, and we're recording at the normal time. This is not one we recorded earlier. So Syracuse plays St. John's tomorrow. Tomorrow's a great day for college basketball. There's Syracuse St. John's. In Brooklyn. There's
Arkansas Creighton.
Yeah, and we're gonna get Arizona and wait, who does Arizona?
Arizona would play San Diego State.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You get both those games. You mix that in with some of these other ones that I touched on. LSU Akron. I mean, I find Northern Iowa Grand Canyon compelling. I find Toledo ECU compelling. San Francisco Wichita State seems awesome.
Yep.
Texas Tech Louisville. Can Louisville get a win? I don't think so, but that I don't have a line on that one. Even Tulane Rhode Island I find interesting. This is a really good college basketball slate here. It's just we don't have a lot of lines. I mean, like a good chunk of the board. Richmond Temple, I find compelling.
UAB Georgia.
Yeah. Oh, I think UAB is going to get them. Yeah. That's going to be a lock of mine. I wonder what that line is going to be at, but I'm liking that UAB angle. Folks, get the app. These days more than ever, the app is handy because once you get into December and conference play and stuff, then we have all the lines and, the app, I mean, it still matters, but I'm saying especially I feel a little bit let down for the listeners because there's a lot of great games we're not covering. And I'm sorry, but these lines will come out at midnight. We don't know. So it's do we sit here and wait? So get the SGPN app, subscribe to the College Basketball Experience. So to recap, my locks are Pacific -4.5 at home against Mount St. Mary's. I'm locking up Grambling +20.5 in Tempe against Arizona State. I am locking up. Where are we at here? I am locking up Vermont +2.5 at Yale. I'm locking up Southern Indiana +7.5 against St. Bonaventure. I am locking up Canisius +7.5 at Cornell. I also like Hampton -1.5 against North Alabama. I like Southern Miss +1.5 against Winthrop. And by the way, I like Southern Indiana money line and Southern Miss money line as well. I'm also going to ride with NJIT +8.5 at Sacred Heart. Eastern Michigan +4.5. Or wait, was that 4.5 or 5.5? 5.5 at at home against IPFW. And Sam Houston State minus the points, I believe 10.5 or 11, I think, against Northern Illinois. Those are my locks. Moneyline Mac, fire away.
Yeah, and like you said, Colby, this is imperative that you check the picks page because I know Colby and I will both be adding locks when we get the lines for the rest of these games. But for now, we're going to ride with Sam Houston State minus a 10.5 against Northern Illinois. We're going to take NJIT +8.5 at Sacred Heart. Sprinkle some on the money line. South Dakota -13.5 against Rod Strickland and LIU. Southern Miss on the money line against Winthrop +1.5 as well if you want that. Hampton -1.5 against North Alabama. Canisius +6.5. Sprinkle some on the money line at Cornell. Jacksonville State and the Gamecocks -7.5 against Elon. Southern Indiana +7.5 at the Bonnie. Sprinkle some on that money line. Coppin State in the rivalry game with Towson +14.5. Grambling State +20.5 in Tempe at Arizona State. And last but not least, Pacific minus a 4.5 against Mount St. Mary's. And check the picks page, for more tomorrow.
There we go, folks. Subscribe to the college basketball experience. Subscribe to the college football experience. Subscribe to the college baseball experience. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Make sure you check out all of the sports gambling podcast platform, essentially. The sports gambling podcast, the OGs who started this. Check out them. Their podcast, they cover everything. It's absolutely fantastic. Got to check it out. And then, get the SGPN app for free in the App Store, Google Play Store. Check out all of Ryan's work. He hosts the NFL Gambling Podcast. He also hosts the Ryan and Rush Show. Check out those. And he's on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. And remember, the college football experience, the college basketball experience, the college baseball experience, all on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. So give us a follow there. And look, we try to do our best here. We're giving you winners. I think we've only had one or two losing nights so far.
Yep.
Look, we ask you, hop over to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Yeah, the college basketball experience. It takes a minute out of your day, people. Come on, help us help you. Come talk college hoops with us too, or any sport you like, in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. And yeah, let's go. All right. This is the college basketball experience, November 22nd style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.